Your body has a dedicated waste removal system, a network that clears out the metabolic garbage, and inflammatory byproducts your tissues produce. When it runs sluggish, that waste pools around your cells and nerves, keeping them irritated, inflamed, and in pain. Most people have never heard of it as a pain driver. Let me introduce you to your lymphatic system. I'm Dr. Padda. We spend a lot of time talking about what gets into the body and what goes wrong inside cells. This episode is about getting waste out. Your lymphatic system is your primary drainage and cleanup network. And when it slows down, a state we can call lymphatic stasis, it becomes an overlooked contributor to chronic pain. And stalled recovery, here's how it works. Surrounding all of your cells is a fluid-filled space called the interstitial space. Your cells dump their waste, metabolic byproducts, cellular debris, inflammatory molecules into this space. The lymphatic system is the network of vessels responsible for collecting that fluid, filtering it, and returning it to circulation. But unlike your blood, which has the heart as a pump, your lymphatic system has no central pump. It relies largely on your movement, your muscle contractions, and your breathing to keep the fluid flowing. So in a sedentary, sitting, shallow breathing modern life, especially one made sedentary by pain, the lymphatic flow slows down. Now the mechanism. When lymphatic flow becomes sluggish, the cleanup falls behind. Metabolic byproducts and inflammatory cytokines that should be carried away instead accumulate in the interstitial space, the very fluid that bathes your nerves and tissues. So your nerves end up sitting in a stagnant pool of inflammatory and irritating molecules. That environment keeps them inflamed and sensitized, and it impairs the delivery of fresh nutrients and oxygen. In effect, the trash isn't being taken out, and your cells are trying to heal while marinating in their own waste. It's hard to recover in a swamp. And here's the vicious loop. Pain makes you move less. Less movement means less lymphatic flow. Because movement is what drives the lymphatic pump. Worse drainage means more waste accumulation, more inflammation, and more pain, which makes you move even less. Around and around it goes. This is part of why prolonged immobility so reliably makes pain worse, and why so many patients feel stiff, puffy, and worse after long periods of inactivity. The drainage has stalled. Let me be balanced here. What's well established is the lymphatic system's essential role in clearing interstitial fluid, and its dependence on movement and muscular activity to function. That's core physiology. The role of impaired lymphatic and interstitial clearance in specific chronic pain conditions is an area of growing interest. The sensible clinical takeaway is that supporting healthy drainage through movement is a reasonable, low-risk part of recovery. So if you've been told to rest, and resting has somehow made you feel stiffer, puffier, and more achy, you're not imagining it. And you're not doing it wrong. For a system that depends on movement to drain itself, too much stillness can actively work against you. The well-meaning advice to just rest can sometimes deepen the very stagnation that's feeding your pain. Understanding that flips the script. Gentle, appropriate movement becomes part of the medicine, not a risk. So here's our approach. We work to restore healthy flow and drainage as part of your recovery through appropriately dosed movement that reactivates the lymphatic pump and through breathing strategies. And by reducing the overall inflammatory load so there's less waste to clear in the first place. And critically, where pain has trapped you in stillness, our interventional therapies reduce that pain enough to get you moving again. Restarting the very pump your drainage depends on. As flow returns, the waste clears. The interstitial environment around your nerves cleans up, and inflamed tissue finally gets the fresh supply it needs to heal. Your tissues can't heal while sitting in their own waste. When we get the drainage flowing, the cleanup can finally happen. If rest has only seemed to make things worse, there may be a reason and a better path. Go to painandmade.tv and take the first step. I'm Dr. Padda. Let's get you flowing and healing again.